Pretty simple concept that we're going to talk about today, and it's raising a power to a power, or taking a number that already has an exponent and taking it to a power past that. And I will say before we start, and I'm not going to show you what it is because I think probably by the time this is done, or by the time you start experiencing these a little bit more, you'll be able to find a really quick and easy way to do these. But for you to actually gain the mathematical understanding for this, I'm going to make sure that we write this all out so you understand what we're doing here. So the problem right here, what I have is I've got a to the third power and all that to the fourth power. So let's start with a to the third power. A to the third power is just simply written, that would be a times a times a. That's a to the third power. So now we need to take this and we need to take that to the fourth power, meaning we basically need 4 of all this. So what we would really have is a times a times a, that's first power, times a times a times a, that'd be second power out of the 4, times a times a times a, that would be third power out of the 4, times a times a times a, that would be all 4 powers. So we've got this, which was our original a to the third power, and we've got that 4 different times. So now all we have to do is kind of simplify this, and it's going to be a to whatever power, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So my final answer to this is going to be a to the 12th power. That would be simplifying this. Next example I've got for you, I've got negative 4 to the second power, and all that to the 8th power. Now, I will preface this by saying we could actually find an actual number answer for this, but I'm not going to make you do that. The idea is just to simplify this down and not to come up with the actual final answer, but it would be easy to do, and I mean, we could actually write it out or just use a calculator, it would be fine. But right now, we're just going to simplify it so we don't have 2 sets of exponents here. So let's start with negative 4 to the second power. That would be negative 4 times negative 4. Okay? This is negative 4 to the second power. This is the same thing as just this right here. But now we need to take this to the 8th power. So that means we basically need 8 of these. So negative 4 times negative 4. There's 1. Negative 4 times negative 4. There's 2. Negative 4 times negative 4. There's 3. Negative 4 times negative 4. There's 4. Oh my gosh. Negative 4 times negative 4. That's 5. Negative 4 times negative 4, 6. Negative 4 times negative 4, that's 7. Negative 4 times, I forgot a negative sign, negative 4, that's 8. Let's make sure I got this here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there we go, I did get them all. 7, 8. So I did the original problem, negative 4 to the second power, and I just wrote that out longhand. And then I needed 8 of what I got there, so I need 8 of those. So now I just have to count how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So my answer to this one would be negative 4 to the 16th power. And again, there are shortcut ways to do this, but I'm not going to tell you. If you come up with it, that's great. If not, we've got the actual way to write this out here. Alright, so here's the next problem. I've got 4, x to the third power, y to the fourth power, and then all that to the second power. So let's write this out as much as I can here. So 4, I don't have to any power here, so it's just 4, times x to the third power, so that'd be x times x, get the actual multiplication symbol in there, times x, and then I have times y to the fourth power, times y, times y, times y, times y. So I've got, so this right here is all of this just expanded out. Now I need to actually take that to the second power. So that means all of this twice. So it's going to be 4 times 4, 2 of those, times 2 sets of this, x times x times x, there's 1 set, times x times x times x, there's 2 sets, and then I need 2 sets of this, times y times y times y times y, times y times y times y times y. So now I just need to kind of simplify this up. So we have 4 to the second power, And if you want to write that as 16, you can, but I'll just keep it as 4 to the second power times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 x's, so x to the 6th power times 4, 8 y's. Oops. That would be my final answer to that question right here. That would be as simplified as we can get. Now, on the screen here, I've put 3 problems. Why don't you pause this and see if you can come up with those simplified answers. And if you've already found out a quick way to do this, feel free to use the quick way is fine. Otherwise, just kind of take your time and write it out. I know it seems like it takes a long time, but I think the more you write it out, you're going to eventually figure out what that pattern is. So go ahead and give it a try. All right, let's see how you did. I've got 2 to the 3rd power. 2 times 2 times 2, and I need 5 of those. So 2 times 2 times 2, 2 times 2 times 2, 2 times 2 times 2, 2 times 2 times 2. So there's 1 set, 2 sets, 3 sets, 4 sets, 5 sets. If you count them off, I've got 15. So that's 2 to the 15th power. That would be a good enough answer for that one. Here, x to the 4th, y to the 2nd. I need 3 sets of this. So I've got x times x. There's another set. Oops. Count them all up. I got 12 x's. And I've got 6 y's. There would be my final answer. X to the 12th, y to the 6th. Last one. Okay. And I need 2 sets of those. One, two, three, 6 2's, 2 to the 6th power. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 y's. And I don't need that multiplication sign in the middle because if they're beside each other like these, it means multiplication anyways. But that would be your final answer there. Now, one thing I will caution you on is just keep in mind if you don't have any power by this whole number, it's just like saying to the 1st power. So you'd only need 1 of those. So make sure you just keep that in mind.